Alright guys, I am back with my review of this week's episode of American Horror Story Asylum, Episode 7, Dark Cousin. And there will be massive spoilers in this video. But this episode was kind of strange. I personally didn't really care for this week's episode just because if you watched it, you saw the Angel of Death. And I didn't really like the fact that characters were just talking to her like they were old friends. Like it was nothing. It just was kind of strange. Like Lena, Sister Jude were talking to her like they talk to her every day. And that was kind of bizarre to me. But yeah, it was an entertaining episode, but I don't think it's one of the stronger ones they've done this season. So yeah, I was kind of half and half on this one. It was entertaining, but it was just kind of random too at the same time. And I don't know if they're going to continue to... I assume they're going to continue to keep this character around, the Angel of Death, Woman in Black character. Just because I think it is the maid from the first season. So I expect her to be around for the rest of the episodes. But yeah, she just kind of showed up, and I guess she's really the only one who can stop the devil at this point. So it does make sense to introduce this character. But yeah, some of the conversations were just kind of out there, how the characters were so cool. They weren't surprised to see a woman. Well, Grace was in the beginning, but the rest weren't surprised to see her at all. So the episode starts off with some nuns checking on Grace. She's got a fever, she's got all this blood coming out of her, and she sees the woman in black with these black wings, and she tells her that she's ready. But the nuns revive her, and the woman disappears. Sister Eunice goes to see Dr. Arden. She's pissed because she thinks that he botched Grace's sterilization procedure, which is going to make them have to take her to a real hospital where they can expose what really goes on in Briarcliff. So she's pissed off about this, but how does the devil not know it wasn't Dr. Arden? Like, she knows everything. How does she not know it wasn't Dr. Arden that did this procedure? So that was also really strange. Then he slaps her and she throws him across the room with her mind. This patient named Miles is hearing voices. And he ends up cutting his arm on this slicer and writing a name on the wall in blood. And Sister Eunice shows up. She sees the name. Miles didn't even know it was a name. And she starts freaking out and asking him, "Did you summon her?" And of course he has no idea what she's talking about. So, the woman in black shows up in Miles' room, and she asks if he wants her to kiss him and make it all go away. And he says yes. She kisses him, and he dies. Sister Eunice shows up. She acts like she's just a regular nun, but of course the woman in black knows who she is, and they're cousins, and she says that she was invited, but the devil wasn't. Dr. Arden tries to help Grace. He tries to do whatever he can to save her life because he doesn't want to take the blame for if something happens to her. Lena Winters is being raped by Dr. Thredson. This was pretty disturbing. And she sees the woman in black watching. And after Dr. Thredson leaves, she's talking to the woman in black. The woman in black is about to kiss her and I guess end her suffering. And then Lena says no, not yet. She doesn't want to just give up. So Dr. Thredson comes back and says he has to kill her, but he wants to make it as painless as possible, so he can either cut her throat or strangle her. He doesn't believe in guns. So that was kind of funny. And then he decides to inject her with something. She fights him off. She injects him with it, and then she escapes from her chains and tries to escape the house. He goes after her. She should have chained him up immediately after escaping her chains. Because she had the keys. She should have just locked it on his leg. But she runs out of the house, she makes it out, and she sees a car and she jumps in. And the driver of the car is also crazy. What are the odds of this? I mean, when this guy was ranting, he hates women. He's telling her how his wife cheated on him, and he's driving. He refuses to let her out of the car. And she actually looks in the back seat and sees the Angel of Death. And if I was Lena Winters, I would have just looked at this crazy guy and said, "You gotta be fucking kidding me." I mean, honestly, after everything she's been through, Her girlfriend's killed, Briarcliff, bloody face, the horrible things that happened in Briarcliff, the horrible things that happened with bloody face, and now this. Are you serious? But the guy pulls out a gun and shoots himself, but it causes the car to crash. So Lena Winters wakes up in Briarcliff and sees Sister Eunice staring at her. So she tells Sister Eunice what's happened. Dr. Thredson is bloody face. And Sister Eunice says she believes her, but of course, she's the devil. She already knows he's bloody face. Dr. Thredson says that... Or wait. Man, I jumped ahead. So Sister Jude is in the apartment of the Auschwitz survivor, who Sister Eunice killed. And she notices that she's being set up. The room is set up to make it look like she killed this man. Like he's investigating her instead of Dr. Arden. There's articles about the hit and run accident, all this stuff. And she gets a phone call from Sister Eunice, and she realizes that Sister Eunice is the devil that was in the possessed kid. So here we get a flashback to 1949. We see how Sister Jude became a nun. She was kicked out of a band for drinking. A detective wanted to talk to her about the hit and run accident, so she decided there's nothing left. She's just going to skip town. And she drove, she got drunk, and when she wakes up, she's at a church. And that's how she became a nun. So she goes to a diner back in the regular time, or asylum time. She goes to the diner and thinks about killing herself when she sees the angel of death, has a long conversation with her, and the waitresses in the diner are watching all of this, and they think Sister Jude is crazy, and they actually consider calling Briarcliff. But nothing happens here. Sister Jude goes to see the family of the little girl she killed in the hit and run accident. And she's going to confess everything, but before she can, the girl comes home. She survived the accident. She didn't die. So Sister Jude isn't a murderer. And that was pretty much the cause of all her problems, or at least most of them. So now that this is gone, I think Sister Jude's going to come back to Briarcliff full force and really try and stop Sister Eunice. So Kit's lawyer tells him the only way to escape the chair is to change Dr. Thredson's mind. And Kit realizes this isn't even possible, so he knocks out the lawyer and escapes. He heads back to Briarcliff to save Grace. He's being chased by one of those monsters in the woods. He actually lets the thing in to Briarcliff. And he's talking to Grace. A nun sees him. She starts screaming, but the monster pops up and bites her neck. Kit just disembowels the monster. And then a security guard shows up, and he's going to shoot Kit, but Grace jumps in the way, and he shoots Grace instead. And Grace is laying there, and I'm thinking, surely they're not going to kill off Grace like this. But the angel of death shows up and kisses her, and that's it. Grace is gone. So really didn't expect that at all. And that was the end of this week's episode. So a huge surprise ending. I don't think anybody expected Grace to die like this. But still, overall, it was just kind of, I felt, not up to the standards of the other episodes. Those were all really good. And this one, it wasn't really a bad episode. I just didn't think it was a really strong one. Grace was killed off, but everything else with the Angel of Death was just, I don't know, kind of strange to me. So anyways, that's my review of this week's episode of American Horror Story Asylum. Hope you guys liked the video. Leave your thoughts on this week's episode in the comments, and thanks for watching. Bye.